Round number 2 has begun in the NBA postseason. Last night, game 2 in Denver, the Minnesota Timberwolves making statement after statement. Game number 1 of the second round in the Eastern Conference inside Madison Square Garden. The Knicks win. Don't look at the final 60 seconds and just stare at the final score. So, DRS, as we welcome everybody here to hour number 2 of this Tuesday on the early line on the SportsGrid network, we take a big picture approach. We showed where the market has moved in terms of the NBA title odds. Well, how about some individuals here? We'll hear from our coach, JY, get the scouting report later on in this second hour. A little PGA Tour talk this week as well, coming your way up next. But we start by looking at a new market available, the NBA Finals MVP odds, where Jason Tatum is the short favorite at plus 160. His Boston Celtics enter round number 2 tonight at home in Beantown against the Cleveland Cavaliers. The C's booked as an 11.5-point favorite, and his Celtics, an even money, plus 100 favorite to win the NBA title, which is why Jason Tatum is plus 160 to win the NBA Finals MVP.
And by the way, we talk about UConn winning the championship in college and try to equate it and say, well, Ben, they got 3 or 4 guys that might be able to win the MVP or the MOP, as they call it in college basketball. Why don't you just take UConn so you don't have to sweat it out even for the plus price? I don't agree with that in the NBA. You take a look at the Celtics winning a championship. Oh, it's going to be Jason Tatum that's going to be the MVP. You want to talk about Minnesota making a run to the finals and winning it? Oh, definitely. It's going to be Anthony Edwards that wins that MVP at a plus 340 price. Shea Gilgeous-Alexander, it's not going to be Chet Holmgren. It's definitely going to be SGA. And if the Knicks somehow make a charge, it's going to be Brunson. I love this market much more, Ben, than actually picking just the winner of who is going to be. Because to me, it's paint by numbers. The Celtics aren't winning an NBA championship because Tatum is scoring 13 points a game in the NBA Finals. Same thing with the rest of these superstar players. I love this market, and I think you're getting a better advantage here price-wise than just picking the team. And I understand there are anomalies here where Jalen Brown could go absolutely ballistic and overtake Jason Tatum. But typically, it's one of those awards that, yes, it's supposed to be based on the NBA Finals, but we know how this works. Best player on the best team, that wins it. As long as it's somewhat close, it goes to the superstar player.
Absolutely so. And I think what Donnie just said right there is very sound. These are narrative awards. You can quantify the odds led by X superstar for insert X team, and that's why there's a 60-cent disparity in Tatum's price for the Celtics to win a championship at plus 100 and his own number to win Finals MVP at plus 160. There's less than $1 gap between the Timberwolves winning the NBA championship and Anthony Edwards winning the NBA Finals MVP award. When it came to the MOP for the Final Four for UConn, there were so many players that you could make an argument for, and Tristan Newton ended up winning it. Maybe not their best player and the big man in Donovan Clingan, despite being in that national title matchup against Zach Edey. A different sample size for Connecticut than for Boston, despite the fact we have made the comparisons that the Celtics' price is so short, deservedly so, probably going to win or at least play in the NBA Finals, and yet it's not worth the bet at that current price, at this current juncture. It's a little bit different, though, when you look at the NBA Finals MVP market. And I will say, DRS, maybe it's because of Boston, and we presume them to get there as a minus 330 favorite to win the Eastern Conference. But you do see a couple of other Celtics in this top 10. Jalen Brown, 12-1. Kristaps Porzingis, his injury timeline, a little bit up in the air, but still 25-1. 37-1, the number on Derek White. 4 of the top 10 hail from the Celtics. And we did have a conversation on this network with our guy, Kevin Walsh, about is the MOP Final Four based or the entirety of the NCAA tournament. Please note, this is the Finals MVP. Only that best-of-7 series, not the Derek White game where he made 8 threes against Miami in round number 1.
Exactly. And that's why you take a look and say, well, wait a second. Kristaps Porzingis, 25-1. It should be 125-1 because he might even miss this series overall. You have to remind yourself it is in just an MVP award for those games that you play in the finals, whether it be 4 games, 5, 6, or 7. That's what it's supposed to be graded on. But we also know how the human mind works at this point and says, boy, they wouldn't even have been here in this round unless this guy made 6 triples in game number 6 of the previous rounds, right? So it always gets back to who's the best player, which again, the price points here are letting you know they're much better than just picking the team. Now, there is something to be said for, hey, man, don't overcomplicate it. Lay your money on the Boston Celtics. There's a lot of really good players. Somebody might be able to steal that MVP. And yes, you will feel bad when the Celtics win the finals in a 4-0 series sweep and you pick Tatum at plus 160, and then it winds up being Jalen Brown for the MVP, and you missed it because you made no money because you tried to get cute. But this market, I do think there is the decided edge where I don't really look forward to seeing as a battle, because in order for these teams to win, the best players typically have to play the absolute best. Like, hey, Anthony Edwards, they won the NBA championship in the finals. Well, he averaged 7.8 points per game. They ain't winning the NBA finals if he does that. So we're trying to have these correlations that are a little bit far-fetched, but you get the point out here. These players play well. Their teams will win. They will be MVP. Because honestly, if Rudy Gobert has similar stats to Anthony Edwards, Edwards is getting it. We all know the NBA needs Edwards to get this, not Rudy Gobert.
It is a narrative award. And at the end of the day, media members alike are going to vote for the superstar that is Anthony Edwards. Maybe what he did prior in the playoffs could influence their thinking, but it's going to be Anthony Edwards. So if you think Minnesota's going to win the title, bet Ant at plus 340 to win the NBA Finals MVP as well. To Donnie's point, maybe there is perceived more depth, talent, balance for Boston, guys we have come to know, like Jalen Brown being the second part of the duo of the Jays, or Kristaps Porzingis. But more than likely, despite what the odds say, and the Celtics an even money favorite at this moment to win the NBA championship and minus 330 to win the East, they're not going to win that Larry O'Brien trophy if Jason Tatum averages 12 points per game in the NBA Finals. He is going to have to go off to secure that 18th NBA championship for Boston, or maybe number 19, whatever the number is at this moment. I think the last non-superstar that really won the NBA Finals MVP, you go back to Andre Iguodala in 2014-15, the 2015 Finals for Golden State. That's probably the last one. You look at the recent list of winners, it's the best player for that eventual best team that is left standing. But it is worth noting, DRS, the four of the best prices right now to win the NBA Finals MVP award, all young guys. Jason Tatum, despite being in the league for a while, 26 years old. The Ant-Man is 22. Shea Gilgeous-Alexander, 25. Luka Doncic, only 25 as well. A lot of young superstars in this next era in the association.
Yes, the NBA seems like they're in some good hands with these younger players. But let me just go back to Andre Iguodala, formerly of Sixers fame, who was infamous for when Allen Iverson came back to the Sixers. He didn't want Allen Iverson to be announced last in the starting lineup because it was his team. Shout out Iguodala. Now, he goes to Golden State, and he got an MVP, Ben. Let's play this out. He was MVP because the other team left him wide open on every play because he's a terrible shooter and made some of his jump shots. And also, LeBron James averaged like 40, 10, and 10 in that series. And Iguodala fouled him every single time down the court and somehow walked away with MVP. Maybe the worst MVP, Finals MVP we've ever seen in the history of the NBA, Andre Iguodala.
But what can we learn from it? That even if a player of the caliber and superstardom of LeBron James plays for the losing team, you need to take somebody from the winning team to win that NBA Finals MVP award. Also, you saw Jalen Brunson at 10-1. If the Knicks are into the finals, it's because of Jalen Brunson.
Correct.
That's also worth your 10-1 number if you think the Knickerbockers can reach that stage.